up? It's your girl Bria and welcome back to my channel. And today's video is going to be about college advice. I'm going to give new college students some advice on how to deal with college. Being that I see all my little cousins is now attending college, and being that I just graduated college this past June, whoop whoop, class of 2007. Okay, so yes, we're gonna get into this video. My first advice when entering college is knowing your major. Knowing your major is so important because you don't want to, one, waste time, waste money, or energy going to these classes that have to do with this major. So coming from experience, when I first attended college, I was a media art major and I did not like that major. I wasn't happy with the major. Being that I wasn't happy with the major, I was pretty much because I was an intern in my last year of high school for a production company, so I was able to learn the ins and out of the production company. Also, when I was taking these classes, I already knew half of the stuff that was being taught, so I felt like I was wasting my time. And then later on, when I started thinking, when I was like working with the internship, I was like, I don't really want to do this because it's like an everyday grind. Like any job is an everyday grind, but it's like it's a guaranteed check at the end of that job. So I was like, you know what, let me change my major, because after thinking about the major that I picked, I'm like, am I gonna get a job? Am I gonna be able to pay my bills? Am I gonna be able to move out of Cynthia's house? Cynthia's my mama. Am I gonna be able to move out of my mom's house? So that's one thing I thought. So I ended up changing my major my second semester of college, and I was kind of annoyed because now it was like I was starting all over again. I had to earn credits towards this major, and the credits that I earned towards other majors, the other major didn't really count. So I was just so annoyed and so frustrated with that. So that is my number one advice before going to college, is knowing what you want to do, knowing that this is the major you're really passionate about, knowing that this, at the end of the day, when you graduate, you're going to use this major, you're going to be working in this field. So that is my number one advice, because you don't want to waste money and you don't want to waste time. Picking classes is the most annoying part of college because you want the best schedule ever, and to have the best schedule ever is whatever is comfortable for you. For me, when I first started, I didn't want to do early morning classes because I hate waking up early, and I didn't want to do really late classes because I did not want to come home super late or whatever. So what I did was, when I first started picking my classes, I made sure, well, my first semester when I picked classes, my schedule was horrible. Like, I had a wide gap in between my first class and my second class. I believe my first class was like 12 to 1:10, and then my second class was like 5 o'clock to 7. I definitely switched it. I was like, absolutely not. So what I did when I was in college was I went to school 3 days out the week, and throughout those 3 days I had at least 2 or 3 classes on those 3 days. So for those 3 days I was in school for a majority of the whole day. Also, I gave myself a break, like a 30-minute break or an hour break in between my classes, being because I wanted to be able to get something to eat and I wanted to be able to get some work done before going back to my other classes. So what I suggest is, when you pick your schedule, give yourself a break so you could actually get something to eat and actually do some work in between. Because if you don't give yourself a break and you do classes back to back, you're gonna feel overwhelmed, you're gonna feel cramped, and you're definitely gonna get a headache. Because I did it and I was like, why did I do this? Just because I wanted to get out of school early, but it was like the worst thing ever, because I was in this class for an hour, then I had to walk to the other class within my 10 minutes to the other side of the campus, and I had to sit in that class for an hour. And I was like, absolutely. Dealing with advisors is basically like the most annoying thing, because, you know, they're there to give you your advice, but also half of the time they don't even know what they be talking about. So I would suggest you do your own research. Make sure these are the classes that you actually need to take towards your major. Go on your whatever website that your school gives. They also have a list of courses that you have to take to earn your degree. So make sure those are the classes you take in order to earn your degree, and don't waste any time. You don't want to take any unnecessary classes. You're going to have to come out of pocket to spend and pay for this class. You feel me? Do your own research. Don't always go by what your advisors say. Do your own research as well. Okay, next thing I want to say is this website is going to be your best friend. Rate My Professor is going to be your best friend because they are going to tell you what you're getting yourself into. These are people who had this professor before, did a review on them, and they're warning you if this professor is good, is this professor bad, is this professor lazy, is this professor shitty, is this professor attitude sucks, or whatever. So you definitely want to have Rate My Professor as your best friend. If I knew about this website from the beginning of my college years, like, I would have did it. So when I found out the second semester, I think I found out about Rate My Professor the third semester, because I was like, I'm tired of these shitty ass professors, like, they don't care or whatever. And I actually went on Rate My Professor and I was able to see all the reviews, see how many stars they got, how poorly they did or whatever, and trust me, best friend ever. Ever since then, my college years went smoothly. You dig? Okay, dealing with professors. Dealing with professors could be very intimidating at first because you're like, you're not used to, like, especially if this is your first time going into college straight out of high school, like I did, you're not used to, like, talking to your teacher about stuff. Like, you would talk to your teacher like, hey, you know, how could I do better on this grade or whatever, and they're willing to help. But some professors, they feel like as an adult, they, like, you should know what you should be doing. You should know how to earn your grade or whatever. Like, some of them are not very understanding, which could be a little bit intimidating. So what I would suggest is, yes, still talk to them and still try to communicate how you feel about the class and how you feel like you're doing in the class. Like, for example, I had a professor who was like my last semester of college, recently actually, and it was a math class, and let me tell you, I suck at math. And every time I asked him, like, hey, could you explain this one more time, read the text. That's what he would tell me. Read the text, meaning reading the textbook. Read the text. It's in the text. They break it down in the text or whatever. Like, he wasn't willing to help. And I had failed the first exam. No, not even an exam. It was a quiz. I failed the first quiz in the math class. He basically told me to drop the class. To drop all my other classes. Like, he was my academic advisor. Like, because he was basically saying that he was scared for me, that I wasn't going to make it throughout this semester. But I proved him wrong because I ended up passing that class and passing all my other classes. So don't get discouraged by the negativity. Like, that's, like, use that, what he was saying was negative, turn that into a positive. Like, I turned that into a positive. Was like, let me keep pushing forward and prove this man wrong, because it was one quiz. You're basing my work off one quiz of the semester on everything else that I could do. So what I basically did was I took that as my motivation, and I kept going to prove this man wrong. Because it's like, you could get discouraged really fast and want to give up and be like, this isn't for me, I can't do it, it's too much work, it's too, like, overwhelming, it's stressful. But take that negative energy and turn it into positive. That's all I could say, honestly. That's what dealing with professors. And also, if professors have nasty attitudes, don't be afraid to go to their department and talk to their chairperson or whatever. Like, speak up for yourself, because I had plenty of professors who had nasty attitudes, who talked to us like we were like nothing, who talked to us like we were idiots. I even had a professor compare the class, saying that her 5-year-old granddaughter was smarter than us. And I was like, that's an insult, because you're saying a 5-year-old is smarter than us? Like, we're in college level courses right now, and you're saying that? So definitely don't make the negative energy affect you. Like, just turn it into positive for sure. Book rentals. Book rentals is like going to be your best friend. Do not buy books unless you really, like, it's no other choice. Buy it. But if you can rent a book, I would suggest you do that, because one, it saves you a lot of money, and it saves you a lot of space. Because once you're done with this course, what are you going to do with the book? You either going to sell it, or it's going to sit around in your house, like how my books are. Like, they're just sitting around my house. So I would say you could go to your bookstore on your campus. I don't know if they do rent out books, but at my school they did rent out some books. But I also like to use, what was that website? I forgot the website, but I will link it down below. And it was a book rental website where you could rent the book for at least, I think the most I ever spent for renting a book was like $30. And I had it for the whole semester, and all I had to do was just send it back. It was free shipping back, everything. So definitely rent books from, I'm gonna put the website down below. Also Amazon, what else? It's a lot of book rental sites. Make sure they're legit book rental sites, but I would definitely put all of them linked below. Another thing is being organized. Like going into college, I was not organized at all. You're about to be hit with a whole bunch of assignments that has due dates, and these due dates are the final due dates. There's no pushback unless something happens, or your professor is like, okay, I'm gonna just push it back. But majority of the time, these due dates are the final due dates. So when I first got into college, I'm like, hey, it's whatever, I get it done. You can't get a 20-page paper done the night before because it's going to be shitty. You can't get a 5-page paper done the night before because it's going to be shitty, because you want your paper to be organized. You want the information to be in there organized. Like, you just can't do it. So what I started to do was to get a planner. I used to print out calendars with the date, which was more helpful than using my phone, because let's be honest, you put something in your calendar on your phone, you're not thinking to look in your phone at the calendar all the time. Not me, at least. Print out a calendar, and I think it was way better than using the calendar on my phone, and I would just fill in the spaces of my calendar, and it was more helpful because I see how many weeks I have until I had to get something done, and this was way more helpful than using my thing. So even though I didn't like this lady the first semester I had her, but that's one thing she did tell us. She's like, having a planner is way better than using your phone. So I do agree with that. Be organized. Print out a calendar. Write down the assignment dates on your calendar so you know when you should start and how much time you have left to do it. Okay, so let's just be, and being organized will help you. Like, you would not feel overwhelmed, you would not feel stressed out. You would feel like, okay, I got it done. Like, if you have a paper due, start your paper like a week or so ahead of the due date, so that way you can keep going back and redoing your paper, and that way you can also ask your professor like, hey, could you look over this paper for me to tell me if I'm going in the right directions, or what should I change, or whatever, because I did that before and it definitely helped, and I definitely got good grades on these papers. Being on a budget. Being on a budget is so important in college, because it's like, college is so expensive. Like, it is so expensive. Like, you have no idea. Like, some books is like so much money, so that's why I say rent your books, because it also helps you to be on a budget, to save money. Like, even I didn't go away to college, I commuted back and forth to school, so I needed money for a Metro card, I needed money for lunch some days, I even started bringing my own lunch to school, so I don't have to buy lunch, because I was going to school in Manhattan, and Manhattan prices for food is like beyond. So I would start bringing lunch to school, and like, even if you are on campus and you're staying on campus and you're living on campus, you should also budget, because you need to know like what your money is going towards. Like, you don't, like, I heard the on-campus food, well, I know for sure too, because I went to my best friend's school on campus and we ate at the cafeteria. The food was horrible. So I would suggest, I know you want your Domino's every other day or so, but that adds up, and it's like you don't have no food left over. So what I would suggest is budget your money so you can have some groceries, and you could cook your own food, and you can have some leftovers to take with you throughout the day or whatever. So budgeting is like, you're gonna learn the value of money when you get in college. Like, some people already learned it like younger, but for me, I learned the value of money when I got in college. I was like, whoa, like what? Like, you're not just gonna buy anything. Like, you're going to learn, like, this is not necessary, you don't need it. Like, it's not you becoming cheap, it's you becoming more smart about your money. Because it's like, now you're an adult, so it's like, oh, I need to learn how to budget. Because once you're like on your own, especially, it's like, oh my god, I don't want to ask my mom for money. Another thing I would say is use your resources on campus, such as tutors, such as the computer lab, such as the library. And like, I was in the computer lab all the time doing my work, and it made me more focused on my work. Like, I wasn't distracted. Use your resources on campus. Also, tutors, like, this is free tutoring. Like, you do not have to pay for this, so just use it. So I used to use like my math tutors. I had a class where I think we was doing web design, and I sucked at that, and I went to tutoring, and he helped me, and he showed me how to do this, how to put in codes and all this stuff. And trust me, I was like, because sometimes the tutors are more understanding than your professor, and they have more patience than your professor to actually sit down and help you. Like, so I'm not going to say all professors don't have patience, but majority of them don't, because they have a whole bunch of other stuff to do. But some of them will literally sit down and help you during their office hours. And that's another thing. Go to your professor's office hours. That's the perfect time to ask questions. Ask them to show you examples, like to get extra help or whatever if you don't want to go to a tutor. If they have office hours, meet up with your professor. Like, if you show your professors you care about your work or you care about what you're doing, they would definitely help you. They will be willing to help because they see that you're, like, trust me, it will benefit you because it benefited me. I was always at my professor's office hours. I was always emailing questions. Like, don't be afraid to, like, don't be afraid to talk to your professor. Dealing with stress. Dealing with stress, girl. It been times I was in the staircase, bawling, crying on the phone with my mom, like, I can't do this, like, I'm gonna quit, like, I can't. But dealing with stress, I definitely think you have to just breathe, like, take a deep breath, like, pray, try to stay on top of your work, don't overthink it, just get it done. Like, if you start overthinking, like, oh my god, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, don't wait last minute. Don't wait last minute for nothing. You wait last minute, you're definitely going to feel overwhelmed. You're definitely going to feel stressed. Don't do that. Don't wait last minute for nothing. I'm telling you now. Don't do it. So, yeah. And what else could I tell you guys? Make these the best 4 years of your life. Make this the best 4 years of your life. Like, if I had this college advice when I was going into college, I would definitely follow it and follow through it. Like, honestly, like, just try to stay focused. Like, I know you want to party, I know you want to get down, like, yes, I'm lit, it's college, like, you know, party, but also stay on your shit, because trust me, it's not easy. So I hope this video was very helpful for some college students who's going into college this year, and I wish you the best of luck with your first college semester. So yes, if you have any more questions on college, comment down below, or whatever else you want to know, just comment down below. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, rock with it. Okay, bye.